Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Amy with Amy's Crafts and Things. Today we are going to learn how to add lining to our already digitized pouch. If you need assistance in digitizing the basic pouch, please refer back to my previous video where I showed you how. We are using PE Design 11 today. I have my pouch or purse design already loaded. Let's review the pieces of my design. There's the outline and zipper placement, the zipper tack down, our fabric tack down, our design, our fabric piece number 2 tack down, our design or text, or you can even leave it blank if you'd like, our top stitching for our zipper, our hardware placement and sew down lines, and our back piece that sews everything together. Since we are adding fabric on both sides of the hoop of our lining, I like to create a fabric tack down to hold those two pieces down. To do that, let's scroll up to the top of our fabric outline in our sewing order. Let's expand it just so we get to the border. We'll right click, we'll select the object, go home, copy and paste it. Next we'll go to shapes to assign it a different color. I'm going to go with a dark brown. Now go to sewing order, scroll all the way down to find it, right click on it, on the box that we just created, select our object, go to our select point tool, click on it. Now we need to create 4 points so that we can remove sections of this brown box that we just created. You're going to want to create a point where the zipper outline matches up with the outline of our box that we just created. We'll click a point there. We'll move it up just a little bit, and then we will click on split at point. We'll do that on the remaining 3 corners. We'll click shapes, split at point. We'll go do the other side, click shapes, split at point, and we'll do that last corner, shapes, split at point. Now in your sewing order, let's scroll all the way back down to the bottom, expand our brown box, and find the 2 pieces that we separated from the overall design. We will right click, select the object, delete, scroll back down, expand our brown box, find the second piece, right click on it, select the object, and hit delete. Now you have just successfully created your tack down for your fabric, but we need to assign it to the appropriate sewing order. So we'll expand our broken box. We'll take the first one that shows up, and that's the one, the bigger piece of my fabric where my main design is. We'll click and drag that all the way up so it sews just after the design stitches out. We'll do the same thing with the smaller piece and put that right after our text, or in my case, my heart. And there you go. You have created some fabric tack downs so that when you sew your lining pieces on, it will help secure things in place. I will talk more about how everything sews together in just a little bit, but for those of us who need to know how to make a lined pouch or lined bag with hidden seams, we have one more step we need to do, and that is to create a fabric sewing line to sew our back lining in place. To do that, go to sewing order, scroll all the way down to where your back fabric piece sews on. In my case, it's a black box. We're going to right click, select the object, go home, copy, paste, and assign it a new color. I'm going to do a dark purple for this one. But in order for us to be able to turn our project lining side out, we need to create an opening. So with our purple box selected, we will select the object, click our select point tool, and we're going to create an opening by finding the middle portion of the center of our design and the leftmost part of our design, and we'll put a point there. and click under Shapes, Split at Point. We'll do the same thing for the right side. We'll find the center, about roughly the center of the place where the center of the design is from the center right part of the design. We'll click a point, go to Shapes, and Split at Point. Now we will scroll all the way down to the bottom, expand our purple box to find our pieces. And we just want to remove that one little line that we created and separated from the main box. Select the object and click Delete. Now remember, this is a sewing line that secures our lining to our project. So let's go back and click on it and select the object and make sure we have a runtime of 3, which we do. Now let's hide the sewing attributes to give us a little bit more space here, and we will uncheck everything. And I want to talk through how everything sews together as we run through the sewing simulator, so I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. Now, if you remember right, this is the outline for our bag placement and our zipper placement, followed by our zipper tack down line. And right here is where we start attaching our fabric pieces. If you remember right from our previous video, this is where you will line up the edge of your fabric with the edge of the zipper tape right side down. And you will do the same thing for the lining side too, but you will do that on the back side of your hoop. So turn your hoop upside down, place your lining fabric right side down, matching the edge of your fabric to the edge of the zipper tape at the bottom, just like you did on the right side, the other side of your hoop. Secure everything in place and run that sewing line to sew everything in place. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to flip the top portion of your fabric down, leaving your lining in place. You don't want to move that yet because you want to sew your design. You're going to let your design stitch out, and after that stitches out, that's when you take that lining piece and fold it down and secure it in place. That way your design stitches on the back side of that design are hidden by your lining fabric. Let this stitch out. After you have put your lining piece in place and secured it with tape, you're going to do the same thing with the other half of your fabric front. You will put that fabric piece right side down, lined up with the edge of your zipper tape, and you will do the same thing with the lining side on the back side, right side down, matching the edge of the fabric to the edge of the zipper tape, just like the top side. Then you will run that stitching line that sews the lining and fabric piece to the zipper. After you do that, you will fold that top side of your fabric piece open, secure it in place, and run any text or design that you may have on that uppermost portion, and then you will flip the lining piece over that on the back side so that you will conceal the stitching on the other side of your project. Then you will run the top stitching for your design, followed by the placement lines for your hardware and your sewing lines for your hardware. Make sure you keep any D-rings or metal objects away from your needle and away from the sewing path of your needle as you are tacking those down. I'm going to talk for a brief moment about creating the lining and attaching the lining for a zippered bag with exposed seams. We'll talk about hidden seams in just a little bit, but for those wanting to do a bag with exposed seams, this is where we do it. After you have sewn your hardware in place, open up your zipper. Next, you will place your backing fabric on top of your purse, right side down, and then you will put the lining fabric wrong side down and right side up, and you will secure it in place and run the final stitching line to secure everything together. After it sews, you can remove your project from your hoop, trim your seams, clip your corners, do not cut any stitching, remove your stabilizer, open your bag, turn it right side out, give it a good press, and congratulations, you have made a fully lined bag with hardware that has exposed seams, and give it a good press, and you have done a great job. If you are doing a bag with hidden seams, it will be a little bit different. After you tack down your hardware, open your zipper, place your back piece of your purse right side down on top of your hoop, and then run the sewing line that sews the back piece of your fabric to your purse. After that stitches out, you will take your lining piece and you will affix it to the back side of your hoop. You will do it with right side down, and then you will secure it in place, put it back on your machine, and run the final stitch that has the opening at the bottom. After you run that final stitch, you are welcome and free then to remove it from your hoop, cut around the seams, cut the excess off, trim your corners, clip your curves, leave a little extra near the opening when you're cutting your fabric so that after you flip it lining side out, taking great care in doing so, you can either hand sew that opening shut or use your favorite fabric adhesive. There are plenty out there in the market. You do what works best for you. Remove the stabilizer from the zipper, open up your zipper a little bit further if necessary, and flip it right side out. And then congratulations, you have successfully made a fully lined purse with hardware with hidden seams. Give it a good press and enjoy.